It's 2021! Hooray! But we're still in a pandemic. Oh. But there's a lot to look forward to. Hooray! But the pandemic might delay it again. Oh. But anyway, still a lot to look forward to, and I have a lot that I am highly anticipating in 2021. Let's get straight to it though. A lot of what I'm anticipating in 2021 was originally meant to be out in 2020. So, just running through the ones that I anticipated last year, now this year. Dune. Denis Villeneuve's new film, Dune. Got one trailer for it, about 5 minutes long. It looks cool, it looks fascinating. He directed Blade Runner 2049, which I think is an underrated masterpiece. Can't wait for this one. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Ghostbusters Afterlife, bringing back the original cast of Ghostbusters, minus Harold Ramis, of course. Sadly he passed away. This one looks like it's going to be heartfelt, it looks like it's going to be touching, maybe a bit more dramatic and less comedic, but I'm totally fine with that. The first trailer that we got really done a good job of setting the mood and the tone and establishing what this one might be about, so I can't wait for this one either. No Time to Die. Daniel Craig's final outing as James Bond. It's about time, to be honest. He's a great Bond, but let's face it, he's getting a little on the older side, let's say, and his story does need to wrap up so we can move on and establish a new Bond already. This one looks pretty cool too, and I really want to see where it goes. And of course, the final one is Black Widow. Black Widow, the next MCU Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to come out. And now it's coming out after WandaVision. They've changed the whole release schedule for this because of the delays and so on. So it's coming out much later than expected. Will that impact it at all? Who knows? Will it end up on Disney Plus? Who knows? Chances are it's going to be in cinemas though, in some form or another. Anyway, next Marvel movie. I like Marvel movies. This one looks like it's going to be a bit of a spy thriller, a bit like Captain America the Winter Soldier. Looks cool. But anyway, those are the ones that I was anticipating in 2020, which are now, hopefully, fingers crossed, coming out in 2021. I mean, they can't get delayed too much more, can they? We are distributing vaccines now, so maybe we're over the worst of it, I don't know. That's a whole other story and a whole other thing. Anyway, let's see, what am I anticipating in 2021 that is actually originally meant to be coming out in 2021? Well, splitting it off into categories, let's start with films. Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, Justice League was not a good film. I don't think it was a bad film. I don't think it was as bad as some people put it out. But it is a very forgettable, pretty bland movie, to be honest. And Justice League deserved better. Justice League should have been the big assembly. It should have been the Avengers of the DC universe. Zack Snyder's Justice League actually looks pretty cool. But then Zack Snyder films always look cool. It's just when it gets to the storytelling and the characters of it all that it kind of falls apart. So fingers crossed for this one. It's going to be what? Split into 4-hour-long episodes or something like that. So it's a long movie, now a mini-series. I don't know what you want to call it, but it looks intriguing. And it could be better than the original Justice League that was released. Promising Young Woman. This film has been getting rave reviews and a lot of hype and anticipation in the past year. This one was actually meant to come out in 2020 originally, but then got pushed back. This is Carey Mulligan starring in a thriller comedy movie where she basically entraps people, and you know what, I'm not going to say too much about this. Watch the trailer if you really want, but I've been told maybe don't watch the trailer because that might give away a little too much. But it looks damn good, it looks fun as hell, it looks like it's got a lot of thrilling moments, and Carey Mulligan looks brilliant in it. Can't wait to see this one. Mission Impossible Libra is the code name that it's currently going on. I don't know if that's going to be its final name, but hell, it's another Mission Impossible movie. Mission Impossible is constantly being up in the ante, up in the stakes, up in the action, up in the thrills. Tom Cruise is almost at the point of killing himself now. What crazy stuff can he do to top the previous movies? I can't wait to find out. The Suicide Squad. So the first Suicide Squad movie was utter garbage. Really bad film. The highlight, of course, was some of the casting choices like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Sadly, they didn't give her a lot of good stuff to do in that movie, but she herself was great. The Suicide Squad looks like it's going to be going in a much better direction with James Gunn writing and directing. Perfect choice for writing and directing in my opinion. There's a big cast of big names and stars in there, a lot of which are going to be killed off in this movie, no doubt about it. You've also got some of the names returning from the first one, so it's not completely ignoring the first one, but it's kind of a reboot, kind of a sequel, kind of its own thing away from that as well, so who knows what to expect entirely from this one. We haven't got a full trailer yet, but we have got behind the scenes like footage and snippets and so on. It looks really interesting and I want to see more of this. So those are the films. What about TV? Well, The Falcon and The Winter Soldier. The first, I would say, major Marvel TV show. Yes, we're getting WandaVision before it, but WandaVision I'm a little dubious about. And by the time you see this, WandaVision might actually already be out, so there's no point in talking about that here. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we saw the first trailer of it, and it looks like a Marvel movie in TV form. The special effects look great. Of course, you've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier uniting. Then you've got the bad guy from Captain America Civil War coming in. Baron something, I don't know. But anyway, it looks like it's going to be expanded on the MCU in a significant way. Is it just going to be a side adventure? Is it going to be a side story? How's this going to feed into future Marvel stuff? We don't really know. We know WandaVision's going to link into Doctor Strange and we know it's all going to lead to the multiverse, but this one seems like it's going to be much more its own thing. So that's interesting, but maybe not in a good way. We'll have to wait and see, but it looks like a lot of fun regardless. Succession Season 3. So Succession Season 3, Succession was a show that I struggled to get into. It actually took me 3 attempts to sit down and determinedly watch it, and now I love it. So much so that I really missed it in 2020. Yeah, it was originally meant to be out in 2020, but the pandemic caused some delays, so now, hopefully, fingers crossed again, coming out 2021. I want to see where they go from that big cliffhanger end. I want to see what's next for this family of arseholes, basically. Yeah. It's bizarre that a TV show where every single character in this show is a horrible, horrible person, and yet I really want to see what happens to them. I'm really rooting for them in strange ways. Yeah, Succession, a really good show. Give it a go if you haven't already. And if you have already and you didn't like it, give it another go and actually stick with it for a few episodes like I did. It will eventually click, probably. Another Marvel show now, Hawkeye. So Hawkeye, an underrated Marvel character in the MCU in my opinion. A lot of people don't like Jeremy Renner, a lot of people don't like Hawkeye. Of course there's the whole personal stuff with Jeremy Renner, but that's another story entirely, we're not going to touch on that here. They're bringing in Hailee Steinfeld, brilliant. Hailee Steinfeld, a really good actor. Not so sure about her singing, but hey, if she's alright with that, that's fine. She's coming in as Kate Bishop. TV show, Marvel, Kate Bishop, Hailee Steinfeld. It looks like they're putting in a lot of effort. They're adapting one of the major Hawkeye comic book series, so that's cool. Yeah, looking forward to this. It's meant to be the back end of 2021, which in other words means it could end up being 2022. Who knows? Sticking with Marvel, Loki. So Loki looks like it's going to be a weird, like, X-Files kind of spin on the Marvel Cinematic Universe where Loki becomes some sort of time traveler. He's trying to do certain things. There's this secret, like, maybe government organization of sorts where they're trying to fix time anomalies or something bizarro like that. I don't know. But it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like they're going to be doing a lot of comedic stuff. It looks like they're going to be having a hell of an exciting adventure in there. And it's bringing back Tom Hiddleston. Throw in Owen Wilson, why not? And it looks like it's just going to be a good, fun, entertaining TV show. Again, how's it going to be expanding the MCU? We don't really know yet. This is one of the most interesting of the Marvel Cinematic Universe shows in that it looks like it's going to be completely in its own universe at times, completely in different time zones. How is it connecting to all the different little bits? Is it connected at all, or is it just more of an excuse to have Tom Hiddleston back? We'll have to wait and see. Final TV show I'm talking about is The Book of Boba Fett. So The Book of Boba Fett is a Mandalorian spin-off TV show, and it's going to be the first of the non-Mandalorian live-action TV shows that we're getting in the Star Wars universe. Temuera Morrison's back as Boba Fett, and Ming-Na Wen is back as Fennec Shand. Looks like it's going to be about Boba Fett trying to take over Jabba's criminal Looks like it's going to be about Boba Fett trying to take over Jabba's criminal enterprises. What does that entail exactly? We don't know. How many episodes is it? We don't know. It looks like it's a limited series, I think. So don't expect a season 2. Is it going to tie into The Mandalorian again? Is it going to tie into the larger TV universe that they're establishing. Who knows? But it's more Star Wars, it's more Boba Fett, it's more TV. Great. Meant to be out December 2021. And that's it for film and TV, so now for video games. Unlike film and TV, video games weren't as impacted by the pandemic. Yes, there were delays. Yes, there were things that came out and weren't exactly up to scratch. And yeah, video games were impacted by the pandemic, but we just weren't always aware of how they were impacted. So, getting to this point now, 2021 video games, there's a lot of big stuff coming out this year, apparently. Some of the stuff I'm actually dubious that it's actually going to make it out this year, like God of War Ragnarok, for example. That isn't coming out this year, I don't think. I'd like to be wrong, but I doubt it. Anyway, what am I anticipating in the video game sphere? Well, first up, Hitman 3. I'm a big Hitman fan. This is the final of the trilogy of Hitman games being made independently by IO Interactive. It's more Hitman. What more could you want? I like Hitman, I like being the assassin, I like sneaking around, putting on different disguises. It looks like they're really upping the scope and the scale of things with atmospherics and visuals and so on in this time around. So it looks like a cool game, it looks like more Hitman. I'm all for it. And this is coming out probably right after I release this video. Disco Elysium, the console version. Yes, Disco Elysium has already been out. It came out in 2019 on PC. Sadly, I don't have a top-of-the-range PC to play it yet. Fingers crossed 2021, I have to get used to saying that, will be the year that I finally get a top-of-the-range PC so I can actually play some PC games and do more streaming and so on. But that's again another story, another digression. Disco Elysium's finally coming to consoles this year. It's coming on to PS5 first for some reason. Don't know why. But it looks like they're adding new missions, new side quests. They're now fully voice acted all across the game now, so that's going to be interesting. And yeah, Disco Elysium, if you don't know, is a pure RPG, right down to the minutiae. You're basically a detective trying to solve crimes in this fictionalized world, very like steampunk, cyberpunky kind of thing, but there's a lot of like fantasy stuff in there as well, very political stuff in there. I would say check this out because it's very interesting and I can't wait to play it on consoles. Horizon Forbidden West. This is one of those games where I'm not entirely sure if it's actually coming out this year. I think this one will though. So Horizon Forbidden West is actually being made for the PS4, the last generation, but it's also going to be on PS5. It's a little disappointing that they are doing the split generation thing here, but hey, it's Horizon. I loved the first Horizon. On a gameplay front, I did have problems with the story in certain regards. Hopefully they fix that, but Horizon is a great franchise so far. At least it had a great launching point. This one could top that. What are they going to add? Looks like maybe underwater stuff, maybe they're going to add more aerial stuff. There's lots of different directions they can go and a lot of things they can add and change and tweak this time around. And this is probably going to be the big first like huge showcase of what the PS5 can do. But again, the fact that it's on PS4, maybe that will limit it to some extent. Anyway, more Horizon, can't complain. Final game that I am highly anticipating this year is Gotham Knights. So Gotham Knights being made by the team that made Batman Arkham Origins. So we're saying this is not an Arkham video game, this is not in the Arkham universe, it's its very own thing, separate Batman universe entirely. Here, Batman has died, apparently. Chances are he's gonna show up in there because, you know, Batman, he rarely ever dies and he rarely ever stays dead. But anyway, you're playing as the Bat Family. This is a single player or multiplayer game depending on how you want to approach it. You can play as Batgirl, you can play as Robin, you can play as Nightwing, or you can play as Red Hood. That's an odd one because Red Hood's usually a villain, not a vigilante, but who cares, maybe they're going in their own twisty style of things, I don't know. But it looks like it's more Batman Arkham style gameplay, but with more action focus maybe? Who knows? We've seen very little of this game and we want to see more of it. But it's more Batman and that's great. It's been a long time since we've had a Batman video game. The last one was Batman Arkham VR, which was again very different from the past Arkham games. This one, of course, still not an Arkham game, but it looks just enough like an Arkham game and it's still a Batman related game that it looks cool anyway. Those are the things I'm anticipating for 2021. hopefully a lot of those things will actually come out in 2021, and hopefully next year in 2022 I won't be talking about these things again being delayed. Fingers crossed though, who knows what can happen. If you've liked this video, subscribe to my channel to get more content like this, and why not go over to Twitter and Instagram, follow me at @the_Grant_Burton in the meantime, where you can get all of my thoughts and opinions up to date as I get them. Also, twitch.tv/the_Grant_Burton is where I stream things weekly. So this week, for example, I'm streaming on Wednesday morning GMT. Usually I do it on Tuesdays. It's Tuesday or Wednesday, one of their things. Throughout the weeks, I also stream in the evenings sometimes. I will be streaming Hitman 3. The entirety of Hitman 3 is my intent when that releases. So keep an eye out for that. There's going to be a lot of video game streams of Hitman 3 coming up, as well as other things like Maneater I'm going to be streaming. Until next time though, thanks for watching.